Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod review. And today's a very big day because we have a new Fallout London release. And a lot of times when we get standalone Fallout London releases, it's either an armor or a weapon, but today we're lucky enough to get both. We are looking at the Fallout London Camelot Merc Pack, which is going to add in a brand new armor and a brand new weapon that are both highly customizable and are super cool. Now, the Camelot Merc outfit is going to be a brand new outfit that is going to be featured in the overall Fallout London project. And then also included is the Fire Lance shotgun, which is going to be a customized double barrel shotgun with some really unique aesthetics and some cool customizability over at the weapons workbench. Definitely a lot better than the vanilla one in Fallout 4. When it comes to the outfit in this mod, I very much like the style of it. It looks super Fallout with a nice bit of that Fallout London twist. It does have some scrappy armor parts made of steel that have been welded together and thrown all over the outfit, while still maintaining a really interesting look for what I'm assuming is going to be a major faction in the Fallout London project. But what is, in my opinion, the star of this mod is definitely that Fire Lance shotgun. This thing looks so cool. Some welded bits of metal to make the weapon actually look like a lance, even though a lance is a melee weapon and this is a shotgun. Well, what makes this weapon stand out is it actually has a built-in bayonet at all times. No matter how you modify this weapon, there will be a bayonet whether you like it or not, and we'll always use that bayonet animation, which makes this a killer weapon when it comes to close quarters combat. And you're definitely going to have to rely on that melee a few times because the range on this weapon is very low, especially with some of the attachments you can take over at the weapons workbench. One quick thing to note about the outfit in this mod, by the way, is that it is intended to be used in Fallout London, of course, which does not feature a wrist-mounted Pip-Boy, but rather a pip pad of sorts. So if you are like me and you use a regular Pip-Boy, there will be some clipping on the outfit, just a little bit in third person. It's not the worst thing in the world, but if you would prefer to avoid clipping, then definitely pick up something like the Pip Pad. Now, another note is that these weapons, much like the other Fallout London releases, are going to have to be spawned in via the console. They are not craftable at the chemistry station, nor are they added to the leveled list. You're just going to have to spawn them in and play with them that way. However, modders have already created a patch that will replace the vanilla double barrel with the double barrel in this mod, and I'm sure there will be a leveled list patch at some point in the very near future. So stay tuned for that. I'm sure there will be patches that will make this mod a lot more playable in your game. Now then, let's go ahead and hop in game and check out the stats of the shotgun and some other neat features in this mod. So for starters, let's get a look at the short Fire Lance shotgun, which is the basic version of this shotgun with no custom attachments. This thing has a base damage of 56, uses shotgun shells of course, has a fire rate of 36, a range of only 35 and an accuracy of only 16, a weight of 9.3 pounds and a value of 37 caps. Now with a range and accuracy like that, this thing is definitely going to be used point blank. Even more so than the vanilla Fallout 4 shotgun. Though, like I said earlier, it does have a built-in bayonet here made out of a sharpened crowbar, so you can at least have that as a backup when you start sticking this in raiders' faces. Giving it one more look around just so you can see the custom visuals on this thing. Obviously, it does use the vanilla double barrel as a base, but then it has some custom textures and a whole bunch of other parts added on top of that make this thing truly unique. Now really quick, it's also worth noting the stats of the Camelot Mercenary outfit, which is going to give you a base damage resistance of 30, it has a weight of 15 and a value of 90, and keep in mind this is an all-in-one outfit, so there will not be any layered parts like arms or chest pieces or legs. This is all just one singular outfit with a damage resistance, again, of only 30, and there is no ballistic weave modification for this, so you are going to be lacking a little bit in the damage resistant department, but it is still pretty cool looking. In terms of modifications, let's go ahead and check out the outfit first because it has a lot less to offer than the shotgun. This thing has a handful of miscellaneous options like insulated lining, treated lining, resistant lining, protective lining, and shielded lining, which are all going to give you varying degrees of energy and radiation resistance, but nothing will increase the base damage resistance. When it comes to the shotgun, however, we have a whole lot of options. Let's start with the receivers, where we have the rusted receiver, the clean receiver, the light frame, heavy frame, calibrated, hardened, hair trigger, powerful, calibrated, powerful, and of course advanced, with the advanced giving you a total damage of 113 compared to the standard 56. Another thing that's important to note is that the clean and onward versions of the receiver will have a different texture than the rusted version. Just a cool little thing to help make them stand out and be different from each other. Then for the barrels, we actually have two categories of barrels. We have the rusted versions, where we have the rusted sawed-off, the rusted short, and the rusted long barrel. Then we also have the clean short, clean sawed-off, and clean long barrel. So depending on which look you prefer, they are definitely going to have better stats as well. When it comes to grips, we have the standard short grip, and then the makeshift stock, which is made out of the original short grip with some welded parts and a bicycle seat, which makes for a really cool and, I'm assuming, comfy stock. For sights, we have the standard iron sights, some glow iron sights, the reflex sight in both the dot and circle reticle, and I gotta say, I really like how the reflex sight sits in between the little gap here. It makes for a really fun first-person view when you aim down sights with this weapon. I like it a whole lot. For muzzles, we have the standard no muzzle brake option, a standard muzzle brake, and a spiked muzzle brake, much like the vanilla double barrel, but where this weapon shines is with the custom ammo types. Now, we have the standard shot, which is going to be just a regular old buckshot. But then we have the iron ball shot. This is going to fire a single iron ball projectile per shot. So it's almost a slug, but it's just not very great. It's going to do a lot more damage, but it's going to reduce the range. We have Dragon's Breath, which does exactly what you think it does. It does add some incendiary fire damage to this. And then we have two different types of slugs. We have the rebar shot slug and the regular slug ammo, which is going to give you the best damage out of all the ammo types, as well as the best range. So this is definitely what you're going to want to pick up if you want to do some pinpoint damage at a bit of a further distance than the other ammo types. Now, one small thing before we get into the damage test is I do want to say that when you look at most of these weapons, the balancing seems pretty okay, but there are certain combinations of attachments that you can throw on, and you'll get some weird stats. For example, if I look at my sawn-off version here, I have a range of -23, and that's because I'm throwing on the sawed-off barrel along with the really poor range ammo type, so I'm not sure if that's something that needs to be looked into or if that's completely intentional, but just wanted to note it there as something that's pretty interesting with this mod. Alright, and now then, of course, it is time for the damage test of today's video. We're going to be running 3 tests. One is going to be, of course, the standard version of the weapon with no attachments and no perks, and then we'll be running a fully upgraded version with buckshot, and then a fully upgraded version with the slug for the highest potential damage without using any perks. Now, keep in mind, this is going to take a little while since there are only 2 shots every time we have to reload with this weapon, so this may be a bit. Let's go ahead and get started with the standard version of the weapon, aiming for the Deathclaw's weak point. Let's see how it does. Not terrible damage, but that reload is going to kill us. And altogether, not too bad. Only 8 shots to put down the Deathclaw, which for a shotgun is pretty good when it comes to ammo consumption. But with how much you're going to have to reload, I definitely wouldn't recommend using this weapon to take on big enemies like that. Maybe stick with a combat shotgun. But that's just the basic version of the weapon. Let's see how it does when it's upgraded. Here we have Dragon's Breath and, of course, the fully upgraded Advanced Receiver. And we almost got that Deathclaw down in 4 shots. Now that's something that's pretty viable, not too bad. I'm curious though how we'll do when it comes to the slug ammo type. Get right up here, again aiming for that Deathclaw's weak point. Let's see how it performs compared to the others. And that one definitely got us to 4 shots. It almost did it in 3. Even with just 1 perk in the Rifleman category, you would definitely have put that Deathclaw down in 3 shots. So, this is just a weapon performing on its own. Throw in some Rifleman perks, and these things actually perform pretty well even against big enemies like Deathclaws, so long as you have the right attachments on. So, pretty nice and pretty viable as a weapons platform. But yeah, that is the Fallout London Camelot Merc Pack that's going to give you a brand new shotgun and a brand new cool lore-friendly armor set. Don't get me wrong, I definitely would have loved to see both of these added to the leveled list in some way or another, but they are still really cool. Functionally, the double barrel is still just a double barrel, but it does have some more customizability than the vanilla one, and it has a really neat aesthetic. So if you ever wanted to roleplay a knight in Fallout 4, I definitely recommend picking this one up as a really cool shotgun to pair with a set of knight armor. Now then, if you want to download this mod, it will be linked down in the description below as always, so by all means go ahead and try it out for yourself and see if it fits in your load order. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to drop a rating, consider subscribing if you haven't already for more videos just like this, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Big shout out to all of my patrons as always for supporting every single video, and a special thank you to Helljumper2077, Jackie Noid, Youth RC, Indecisive Wolf, Captain Chaos, and Feed. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. You are so generous. If you want to try out Patreon, it will be linked down in the description below, but it is completely optional. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace!